Namaste YouTube, welcome to Cafe Enoma and welcome to our reaction and review to a King Diamond album called The Puppet Master. And this is our first time ever listening and reacting to this entire album. We will be reacting to this album in one go, in one sitting, but the songs might be put in 2 or 3 sections to you for you to see. Yes?
Yeah, it is for our patron Marco, and he is someone who loves listening to the music of King Diamond.
Yes.
We too have reacted to King Diamond in the past and we've loved it. We have reacted to an entire album of King Diamond for Marco last month towards the beginning, and the name of the album was Abigail. Do check out those reactions. They were split into the different parts for each song. This time we are doing it in one go so that everyone can watch it in one go, and we'll split it into maximum of 3 parts, maybe 4 if we need to talk some more. So it will be 3 parts mainly, and we hope that this is going to be as good or even better than the last one, Abigail. So at the time of recording this today, this 18th August, this has cleared all copyrights of this platform, and we are very happy because that means we can react to it freely without worrying about any restrictions and things like that. So that should be interesting. Part of this album are King Diamond, of course. King Diamond. The vocals, keyboards are done by him. Andy LaRocque on guitars and keyboards. Mike Weed on guitars, Hal Patino on bass guitar, Matt Thompson on drums, and we have an interesting addition here in the vocals, Livia Zita. So that should be interesting. So there are 6 people who are part of this particular album that we have from the patron Marco, and we hope it's all accurate. This album is not a recent one, right?
It's from 2003, 21st October 2003.
Yeah, so it's 16 years old almost, and it should be interesting. It is titled The Puppet Master. Kirti,
The Puppet Master.
what are your thoughts? What do you think we are about to expect in this one? What are your expectations? What do you think this album is going to be about, etc.? Just so that you know, it's Kirti's pure reaction to this album.
Yes.
A pure reaction is when the person has never ever heard this genre or artist ever before in their life. And this is the case for Kirti. Until we reacted to King Diamond just a couple of months ago or so ago, Kirti had never heard about his name, neither anything about his music. For me, it is also a first time listen of King Diamond in my life, this album, as well as the early album and songs that we have reacted to. But for me, I have heard a lot of songs in this genre, whether you call it rock, progressive rock, metal, heavy metal, symphonic power metal, all these various kinds of genres, death metal, etc. I do not know which genre this exactly comes in, but if it is classic rock or death metal or heavy metal, either ways I have heard a lot of it in my lifetime, so it's not a pure reaction. Kirti, what are your thoughts on what we have to expect here, and what do you feel is going to be the things that to look forward to?
Literally taking the meaning of the Puppet Master, I'm looking at someone who does the puppet shows. Puppetry also it is called, right? Yeah, so I'm looking at something, a story of those puppets being told via the Puppet Master, or how he uses them to show a story. That's what I'm looking at. So it will be very interesting to learn about it. Puppetry, puppet shows are very popular almost everywhere in the world. In India also, mainly in Rajasthan, we have puppet shows which are very, very common. In China, we have on Valentine's Day, it's called something in Chinese, when they celebrate their Valentine's Day. I saw it in the movie The Karate Kid, and that is a special occasion over there. So in different countries, people celebrate puppet shows.
What we'll do is, since we do not know exactly what this album is about,
yes,
it is a first time reaction and an honest one. Do note that we have started to be a lot more realistic and critical in our reviews. So if there's something, for example, that I don't like or Kirti doesn't like, or we find not so interesting, maybe even boring, we do point it out. Sometimes that is how it is. Especially with me, it's very easy for me to not like something. Although I try to be very, very respectful, and I also try to. I don't always mention it because it's because of I've heard so much music, so obviously I can't like everything that I hear. So in this case also, I'll try to be as honest as possible. I will be very, very critical if I do not like something, and I'll also try and give reasons for why I don't like it. It's important to note that we have reacted to a song by Metallica. I also think it's an album, Master of
Master of
Puppets.
Puppets.
So there it was quite different. That is why I don't want to say that this is about the actual puppet master and puppetry and things like that.
Okay.
It could be something else. So
Master of Puppets.
I'll reserve my analysis for later. Yeah, so let's get started right away with this one. We'll start with the first song on our list. It's titled Midnight. It's approximately 1 minute 55 seconds. So probably an introduction like we did last time.
Yes.
Even last time it had a short introduction and then it got deep into the... I can see from the list that our patron has given that most of the other songs are around 4 to 6 minutes.
5 minutes.
Between that duration long. So this is the only one which is less than 2 minutes. Let's get started. I'm expecting big things. I'm expecting the best because I like what King Diamond does with his music as well as his vocals. It is off the charts, so I'm expecting nothing less in this one considering it's after a lot of experience and maturity. 2003,
Yes.
wow.
Yes.
It's not as long ago as the earlier one.
I see the snow that's falling, still hanging from this wall. I'm thinking back in time to when there was still a life, free of misery. Oh, but it was never to be. I see the snow that's falling, when still you're haunting me. I'm thinking back in time to the cellar in the darkest night. All the misery, all the blood I had to see. They're ready for the show. Now the blood must flow. They're waiting above. Now, let the show begin.
Wow, so this is an exciting prelude to
Yes.
what's about to come. The show is about to begin.
Begin.
Yeah, what are your initial thoughts, Kirti, on this one before we could move to the next song?
Midnight, this is about the scene at the midnight somewhere where it is snowing as well, and people are very anxious, people are all eager for the show to begin. So I'm expecting a puppet show now because they are as per the name of the album, and this is midnight time and they are all sitting and waiting for the show to begin. There is going to be a lot of misery and blood flow and things like that. So it's something gruesome that is going to unfold.
It seems to be evident that it may be actually a puppet show that is going on here or is about to begin. But it's an evil kind of puppet show because
something
blood
evil.
is flowing. It sounds ghastly and evil.
Yeah.
The vocals of King Diamond sound pretty similar to that of Ozzy Osbourne in his prime, especially his solo career, later on.
Right.
A lot of similarities, and Incidentally, our patron Marco likes both these artists a lot. Let's check out the second song, Kirti, and maybe we'll have a lengthier discussion after
Yes,
that.
it is
This was an
the
introduction.
title track of the album.
So let's check out the
Puppet
second
Master.
one and see what it's about.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the Puppet Master. So this is where it all begins. The title track of the album that usually reveals a lot. So we'll have to pay even more attention to this one.
Yes.
There's a solo by Mike Wheat shown right at the beginning. His name wasn't mentioned in the
It
list,
is
was
a, it is a, he's on the second guitar.
Okay, let's get started.
So many people are waiting in line. Darkness without a glow. What a night to be watching a Christmas show. What a magical mystery feeling. Dancing at the end of their silvery strings. Like children with plague in their flesh. These puppets are oh so grotesque. Nighttime in Budapest. The puppet theater is so dark inside. Gas lamps light the stage. We're watching as the curtain begins to rise. What a magical mystery feeling.
good.
This is phenomenal. This, the reason why most people must be liking King Diamond is because, there is vocals raining on you, and there are those guitar riffs from two guitars raining on you. It's so much in quantity. The kind of tune, the kind of music that flows through the song and everything put together. It's amazing, phenomenal, out of the world thing what he does with his vocals. As if 2 or 3 people sing together, he does that job alone. I don't see I think the last member on this album is supposed to be a female, I guess, because of the name. She is singing right now with him. It's all him on the vocals. One person creating such a feel to you is amazing.
Yeah, this is trademark King Diamond. I was waiting for this. The intro was just gave us a small glimpse of it, of what was to come. Here's a puppet show. The puppets on the stage seem to be alive. There's a drummer boy that I connected with instantly. I have seen a few puppet shows in my childhood in South Mumbai. All these things were very common. On the streets of South Mumbai. In fact, even today, the inner lanes of South Mumbai, at least now we are in the suburbs. But in South Mumbai, what is called as town, in that part, all these things are still alive even today. If there are fairs, if there are festivals, you'll see a puppet show there. So when I was small, it was very, very common in our area of South Mumbai. The area called Baikala as well as Bombay Central. Now it's called Mumbai Central. So there, in that area, there were a lot of fairs, there were a lot of festivals because of varied communities that lived there, the Muslims, the Hindus, as well as a lot of Christians. So we had a lot of festivals and a lot of fairs and activities going on, and one of these was a puppet show. So I connected with the drummer boy because that is pretty common. Even in Mumbai, in the puppet shows, they have this drummer boy, and he'll go, he does all these things like that. So I did connect with that part a lot. It seems like the bruises they have on the hand,
some sort of plague.
It seems to be real. Seems to be all real, the puppet show.
They seem to be as real size also, not too small in size as per what he's saying. They are like children or big size for puppets.
And then at the end, the puppet master comes on the stage, perhaps to take his final bow. And then suddenly all of them are gone. They're all gone, the puppets and all. And that's the end of the song. So I think that's about it. This is where we see the elements of King Diamond, what I'm so used to. I think Kirti also maybe.
Yes.
The music, the vocals, everything kicking in together, the variation in the vocals, the great guitar work. This could be seen here. This could be seen here. So this was a great example, the title track of the album. I think it's time to move to the third one. I'm sure there is going to be a lot to come now in the next 10 songs of this album. We've seen the puppet show. And it's already over.
People were standing in line for this puppet show, though it was very, very dark, without a glow. People were waiting.
It's night time in Budapest.
Midnight.
And
on Christmas night, it seems. It's a Christmas show.
It's a festival time, That's what I connected with, because as I said, South Mumbai, it was usually around the festivals and fairs that we had all this going. Let's start with the third song.
It's called The Magic.
Yeah, so we'll start with it. We'll see what this one is about. All are first time single take honest reactions, pure reactions by Kirti too. It's important to note that these videos, the lyric videos that we are viewing, are from our patrons' very own channel on YouTube.
He himself made
a lot of effort, time and hard work goes into all this. We know as reactors, we have made so many hundreds of lyric videos in the past as well as for our reactions. So we do know how much time goes into it. That also shows the interest that we have for that person. So we can see evidently that Marco is a big fan of King Diamond's music. But don't worry, Marco, that is not going to stop me from being critical of music that I don't like or songs that I don't like. I love things to do with ghosts, spirits. I won't say the occult. I do believe very strongly in God and the Lord Jesus, our Lord Jesus Christ. But at the same time, I do believe in ghosts and spirits. I do know they exist because I've experienced them personally in the past at vacation destinations as well as during my childhood in a large mansion in South Mumbai. So let's see what goes on over here. The third song.
What's the magic about?
Yeah.
In the darkness after the show, out
plot thickens. Kirti, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yes, this is now, the show was over. They all were going home. Everybody headed home. Apart from him and another person who seems to be a lady. And there is something going on between them. Very soon she disappeared as well. She went inside the theater. She never came out. And you know, magic here is used in two contexts. First half of the song, it was used for the show. The things that happened in the show was a bit magical. It was not real. Something, you know, underneath something happening, which was unreal. Something very evil, something very different. It wasn't a normal puppet show, that we can understand by now. And then the magical moment as well was there. The magical feeling was also there, which he and she both can feel. Ghost-like something whispered in his ears to kiss her. And I don't really know if he kissed. If I missed that line.
He
kissed.
He did? Because he said the kiss 1 year ago.
Okay, yeah. So the kiss happened, but after that she has disappeared. He's not he's not able to find her. He wants to find her, but right now he can't find her. So we can see magic used in different ways. I'm in love with his voice at the moment. The things that he's doing with his voice. This sounded like a ballad. The way he was singing this one, and the story was unfolding, and you can picturize, you can imagine what he's saying.
It's like a scary love story.
Yeah.
Yeah. The highlights for me were the drumming, the vocals, and the guitar work. I would have liked the lead guitar solo, what seemed like the lead guitar solo, the first one, to be a lot higher in volume. It was very soft. The second one was okay, but the first one was low in volume. I wonder if there's any reason for that. Otherwise, it was a top-notch song on this album. It does reveal what happens after the puppet show, so it goes in a very straightforward sequence. This is the start of perhaps a love story, perhaps something like that. But it also says that it's 1 year ago. So he's reflecting on all this a year later. Yeah. That's what I've gathered from the lines of this song. So that might have a lot of significance as we move on with this album. Let us see what this is getting at. Is it about the puppet show, the puppet master, which is the name of the album? What role does this ghost play? Is the ghost of the puppet master? Who is this ghost? Who is this girl? Let us find out more very quickly. Let us find out and check. This is the next song on the album, the fourth one. It's called Emerencia. I hope I got that right.
Yes.
It could be also Omerencia in French.
Okay.
The shadows are thick and old. I'm searching the dark for my love. Behind the theater of puppet shows, I find the stairs to the cellar below. Pounds of flesh that
lady's voice.
Life that slips away, how strange it is. In darkness, blood is black, not red.
The knife is still deep in his chest. Gotta keep the blood in its nest. She wraps him in the sack she brought. She better leave before she gets caught. Through the streets, dark and old. Through the streets, no one must know. Only the moon and I, and none of us will ever tell. She pulls the body off the cord, back at the theater and down into the dark. I wonder why you left the door ajar. Deep in the night, through the narrowest hallways, I follow her every step. There's a light from the doorway ahead of us. Where did she go? Where did she go? Now, what I see is a horror show. Then the blow.
Oi.
Wow, what is your take on this one,
Wow.
quickly? What is your take on this one, quickly?
I loved it. I think the story is getting much more intense now. We are getting deeper into the story. He has come back to the same place, same theater again after thinking about the girl that he was thinking about 1 year ago, who went missing or he cannot find. And now when he came to this place on the same night, he's gone behind side of the theater. And you know, he went down below where they do things, where the things are set up, and he saw the wife of the puppet master doing all these acts.
Yeah, so basically she is like a serial killer of some kind.
Criminal
300
acts.
pounds of flesh, that's the weight probably. Her name is Emerencia. She goes about on the streets late at night, searching for people to kill. For what reason, perhaps we'll know very quickly in the next part of our reaction. This is really interesting, the album so far. It's taking its twists and turns. It was the intro, then the puppet show itself, then the aftermath of the puppet show where there was like a scary
Magic.
love story. And this was purely about the puppet master's wife. We'll leave this one at that. Let's check out what happens later. I like the way they said, you know, she keeps a knife in his chest, the homeless man.
And
she makes it stay there so that the blood remains in its nest. So I like those rhymes and the way it was said. A beautiful, beautiful song. I like the solos by Andy. This was beautiful. This was a good song on the album.
scary.
Yeah, so we'll move to the next part of our reaction. The next 4 songs.
Yes.
After this break, do join us for the second part of this review of King Diamond's album,
The Puppet Master.
The Puppet Master. Join us, Kirti and me, once again after the break. Goodbye.